What's up, gamers? Welcome to Battle Mallet Podcast, episode 79, Hex Ed, Emberstone Onion, a Knives Out mystery. My name is Jerod Johnson. Tonight I am joined by Trace Al Capone Hyde.
I'm Trace Hyde.
And Jason Table Noob Murray.
My mind went to the same place. I'm Ron Burgundy.
And for anyone that isn't familiar, the Battle Mallet Podcast is the journey of three busy gamers playing games that they love, balancing life with those games, and making their way to the Nova Open Convention every year. Tonight's episode, though, we have a huge thank you to Games Workshop for sending us advanced copies of Knives of the Crone and the Realmstone Raiders Rivals deck for Warhammer Underworld's Emberguard. So thank you out the gate. And in this episode, we're going to be reviewing the Warband and the Rivals deck in our typical fashion. But before we get into any of that, since it's been, I don't know, like 2 months since we recorded, I think we have a lot to catch up on. So what you been up to, Trace?
Oh, it's too much.
Too much? Skip it. Bop it. Flick
Tap it.
Spin it.
Oh, Lord.
Old World?
Painting a lot of Old World, playing Old World. And actually, I've not done a lot of gaming outside of that. Life kind of got in the way. So I've had change in schedules for children and their events. And so that's gotten in the way of Monday meetups and stuff. But we got together, but I guess we could talk about that whenever
Come together.
Yeah.
For another episode.
Yeah. But you were pretty hot and heavy in the Old World League that local Kalen was running, right?
Yeah, I was running the Old World League, doing some Warriors of Chaos, and then I wouldn't say that I was hot and heavy into it, but
okay.
I got to play a couple games.
Nice.
And then I actually participated in the Brawler Bash, which occurred in March. I don't think we've recorded since that happened.
We have not. I think February was our last.
So, which was a 2,500 point GT, so 5 games over 2 days.
Nice.
Of Old World. It's all based on basically you keep what you kill, so there's no real reason to kind of play cagey, like you don't have a win or loss, like you just have a score.
Okay.
And at the end of that event, whoever has the highest score is the person who wins the event. So that happened, and then we signed up for Nova, but I think we're going to talk about all that in another episode. Just painting, hanging out, playing video games with my son.
Nice.
We've been playing Towerborn, which is a lot of fun.
I know you keep me into that the other night, and like just visually, it looks awesome.
Yeah, it's like a side scroller. If you took like arcade Ninja Turtles style, mixed it with Diablo or Minecraft Dungeons, and then skinned it all with like a anime. It's pretty cool.
Looks cool.
It's a lot of fun. So that's really what I've been doing. A little bit of painting for our new releases here as well. Can talk about in a minute.
Nice.
Yeah. How about you? What you been doing? Nothing?
Yeah, mostly nothing. So I've been trying to come out to as many of the local meetups for Warhammer Underworlds as I could. Jason was running the league for that, and I was at the top of the leaderboard, and then life got in the way, and I plummeted. So I had to use my life happens week, 1 week, and then work travel hit again and was not able to make it up. So, but it worked out for the best because I wasn't able to play in the tournament anyway. So, but that was a lot of fun. It was really cool to see Black Powder take it all, of all things. So Evelyn rocked that deck. And my understanding is that you just play the deck. You don't worry about inspiring your fighters. So we'll see if maybe we can squeak an article out of Evelyn about the deck that she was running. But beyond that, I've been painting a little bit of MCP. So I think since the last time we've recorded, I've painted Warlock, Angel, and Sunspot. But I've kind of hit a block in that regard. And a block in play.
Like Sunblock?
Oh, nice. Nailed it. SPF 1000 if you're going up against Mr. Roberto. I did get a game of Old World in, so that was fun. It plays exactly like Warhammer Fantasy. So got tabled.
I wouldn't say exactly like, but it plays similar.
It's really close. It has like everything that you loved about fantasy, and then some new stuff to mitigate the things that you didn't. But
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
the running away portion is a big difference.
Yeah, we'll have to do a deep dive on the new game soon. But other than that, it's been a lot of work. Some video games, Dice Throne. So that was a big hit with the family. Finally got my X-Men Kickstarter in and played through 2 missions with the family. Jason, what you been up to? Work. Yeah, for real.
Yeah, so I think we mentioned on the last episode, like new position at work. Started that, so the new position's a more office-based kind of gig, but getting my feet underneath me. It's a lot more meetings, presentations, developing the content for said meetings and presentations. So just a lot more creative and more influence on a lot of people. So it's been fun, but at the same time, it's taken up a vast majority of my hobby time. I have a hard and fast rule that when I get home from work, I don't work until at least the kids go to bed. So a lot of that time that would be transferred into hobbies been transferred into making presentations or getting up early. So then you have to go to bed early. But other than that, like both of you kind of dove into some games with the family. We've been playing Loricana. So, Emma got back into Loricana 2 months ago now. 3 months ago, something like that. So got into the new set, been playing that. Aiden has tagged along this time playing Loricana, so that has made it super enjoyable. Her first week back, she played in a tournament and won the tournament. And then the next tournament, her old man actually got to play and took that one. And then we got the wife to play that in the cooperative mode here 2 weekends ago. So we played that like twice, which never happens with Sarah joining in. And then on top of that, from an Underworld standpoint, I've played a couple games. So didn't make a ton of the meetups, but made the last meetup and one before that. And this last meetup had some very enjoyable games with Kaylin. Played the good old Kagras Ravagers.
I have no idea why you said it that way, but sure.
I'm just making up names to make Jake mad.
Well, what's really funny is you actually got that completely right. So
damn it.
Best efforts.
Damn it. Try to mess it up. Sometimes it just can't happen. Yeah. But anyway, very fun. I like the hold style. Played them hold style. Kind of didn't go into any aggro at all. I was playing against the Gore Hulk, Drumamu and his merry men.
Nailed it.
There we go. See, there we go.
You made up for it. You made up for your blunder a minute ago.
Yeah, but it was really enjoyable to get those models back on the tabletop, play a quick engaging game, actually 2 games. And then it was really cool to see the league wrap up with the other players. Like it was, 4 people that 3 of them, it was their first time in kind of the final tournament. So it was good to see them all trying and taking on the game. And then from there, handing out cool stuff, right? Like giving the trophy away. It was nice to get that wrapped up. And now just preparing for summer stuff. So knocking out this episode. And I think it's a great time to kind of share with our listener base. We are trying to get back to somewhat of a normal schedule, but that normal schedule, we're going to kind of get back to what made Battle Mallet. We're going to try talking about what we're playing at that current time. So that does mean that some upcoming episodes will not be 100% Underworlds, because let's face it, we are deviating into other cool stuff with Trace getting into Old World. We're playing video games with kids, board games with our children, board games with our families. Danny has started the painting business, so we definitely want to talk to him. Plus MCP is going hot and heavy there. So over the next few months, we really hope to sprinkle in a couple of episodes just talking about what's going on in the lives and the games that our little group is playing. Plus, I do think that the overall group is going to, like our normal Underworlds group, is going to start incorporating some Spearhead in on our meetups. So it'll just be a fun time here to kind of explore the other games that are out there, as we all really ramp up getting ready for Nova. So I believe the next episode here, just to give a little preview, we'll have Danny back on and we're going to talk about Nova Prep. And, our big announcement is that Jerod and I will be hosting the Nova Open tournament for Underworlds, and we will go into depth and kind of the rules and expectations and all the packet that we have going on there. But that one will probably come out here at the end of the month or next month, just to get a little preview. So that's what's been going on with me, with us. Gentlemen, anything else?
I think that covers it.
No, sir.
Cool. Then
Good.
let's take a break and we'll jump right into Realmstone Raiders of the Lost Cornrows.
Perfect.
Good stuff. And we're back to talk about Realmstone Raiders, the Rivals deck, dropping here soon to a player near you. So, gentlemen, we have a wonderful new Rivals deck, Realmstone Raiders. This deck comes with a plot card. Dun dun dun.
But what does it say?
Well, let me tell you. It says, while using this Rivals deck, immediately after the first successful melee attack action step, you can raid a number of times equal to the bounty characteristic of the target. Raid. Bold. Reveal the top card of your power deck. That card is raided. If that card is an Emberstone card, you can put that card back on top or on the bottom of your power deck. Emberstone cards have the following rules before we get to the rules. So this is kind of like that mill deck, like you're searching for a card. It's a really cool mechanic. Like, it does exist out there in TCGs. It's a very powerful mechanic. So I think we'll get through that as we review this deck. But the actual raid mechanic is and can be very powerful. But let's see how it's applied through this Amberstone card, because not every card in the Realmstone Raiders deck is an Emberstone card. But if it is Emberstone cards and you raid it, Emberstone cards have the following additional rule. For Emberstone ploys, you can play this ploy immediately after it is raided. So you draw it and wham, bam, go. And then for Emberstone upgrades, you can equip this card immediately after it is raided if you have the required glory points. If a rated card is not an Emberstone card, put that card on bottom of your power deck. So let's break this down. You raid, so you make a successful attack action, then you raid the number of cards that is equal to the bounty characteristic of your target. So let's just, for this example, say it's 2. You can raid 2 cards. So you will raid the first card, you will pull it up, you'll look at that card. If it is an Amberstone card, you have basically 4 choices. You can put it back on the top of your deck. So if when you draw again, you can put it on the bottom of your deck to save it for later. You can, if it's a ploy that is an Emberstone ploy, you can play it immediately. If it is an upgrade, you can spend the glory and put it on a fighter.
Nice. Lots of really cool choices to be made there.
Lots of cool choices to be made. But again, the key here, it has to be an Emberstone card.
That's right.
So
can I dig in? Yeah.
Go ahead.
Let's just go through the numbers. There are 6 Emberstone ploys and 6 Emberstone upgrades in this deck.
So half?
More than half.
Oh, really?
60%.
Wow. So
Yep.
60% of the cards in this rival deck have that keyword Emberstone.
60% of the time, they work every time.
All the time.
That's
But so if you draw one that's not, it has to go on the bottom. So you're just cycling your
correct.
cards.
Yeah.
So the hope here is that these Emberstones are really powerful, right?
That's the hope.
That's the hope. But where are we going to start? We're going to start with the objectives. So
Yeah. So as always, we're going to give you an idea of the cards that you want to see early if you were playing this as a Rivals deck. So we think these are the ones that are going to be the most helpful early in the game. They aren't necessarily the best cards in the deck, but they're the best cards in that first battle round, either because they're easy to score objectives, they're cheaper upgrades or really good upgrades, or ploys that are going to be more useful or really strong, and you want to have them early as you go. So first things first, Realmstone Raid. So this is an objective. Score this in an end phase if you raided 3 or more times after different friendly fighters attacked this battle round. And it is the coveted 2 glory end phase. So I think something that should be acknowledged for this card is that it might be a little ambiguous, but I think we can work around that. And as long as you attack twice, because it says different friendly fighters attacked this battle round, and from those 2 attacks, from those 2 fighters, you raid 3 or more cards, I think you're good to go. Yeah, and what's really cool about this is it doesn't have any restrictions on the type of cards that you raid. So you could raid Emberstone cards or not Emberstone cards and still score this.
Yes, so because you're raiding
good.
each time
That's
for
right.
the bounty characteristic, right? So
Right.
fighter 1 attacks a 2 bounty enemy. It's successful.
Raid
Yep.
2 cards.
Raid 2 cards.
Yep.
Now
And
all
they don't even have to be different cards.
yeah,
So if it is an Emberstone card, you could look at it, put it back, look at it, put it back.
they still raided twice.
You still raided 2 cards.
So now I just have to raid one more time with a different friendly fighter.
That's right.
So then I raid, I attack 1 bounty, good, goes off,
Yep.
boom,
Yeah.
raid
Now you
again.
score this.
Now I've accomplished my task.
Yeah.
Different fighters 3 times.
Yeah. So I think in reality, what this card sounds like to me is you made 2 or more successful melee attack actions this battle round. It's probably about how this card is going to play out.
With 2 different fighters.
Yeah. Yes.
Cool.
Cool.
All right. That's two bounty, rocking it out, end phase. What's next, Trace?
Certain aggression. Score this in an end phase if you raided 2 or more times this battle round and there are no enemy fighters in friendly territory. That is more likely to happen early than late. So it's the reason why you want to have this early. And if you have both these in hand and you've raided 2 times already, you're in good shape.
Yeah.
You're on the track for 4 glory for the first end phase.
Yeah, the key with this one is you've raided 2 or more times. It doesn't have to be with different fighters. So if you're attacking that 2 bounty and successfully attack that 2 bounty model, check. Now just defend your territory like your 2 glory depended on it.
Yep. So it's easy to block, but yeah, I think you're right. It's easier to defend early than not. And if you get it early and they go completely aggro and invade your space, then you could just ditch it. Draw another one later. What do we want last, Jason?
The last one is our one and only Surge that we've selected for the first 3, and this is Rage Rock Strike or Ragnarok Strike, one or the other, however you want to say it. It's a little blurry, so it might be, I don't know. Score this immediately after resolving the Emberstone Ploy ability or the Emberstone Upgrade ability. See the plot card for 1 glory. So you're going to raid. If you pull one of those Emberstones, if you use it right away, you'll achieve this. Hopefully it's a ploy because that would be fairly simple. And you're going to get an additional glory for just doing what the deck wants you to do anyways.
Nice.
Very cool.
All right. So moving on to ploys. Let's take a look at Raiders Rapture. So this is not an Emberstone ploy. There's going to be a theme here. You don't want Emberstone ploys early. You want them in your deck because you'll need them to score things later, and you can activate them. So this is a domain. When you raid, you can reveal 1 additional card. This effect persists until the end of the round or until another domain card is played. So
This is my favorite one.
it's really good. Jason and I have already talked about this off the air. Trace, I'm going to get your hot take here. When you raid, you can reveal 1 additional card. So if I successfully attack a 2 bounty fighter, how many cards am I going to reveal?
That's 4, Jim.
That's 4, Jim. That's correct. That's right. So boom, you just scored everything that you need to score ever with 1 successful attack action, probably. It's really potent, like literally doubling the number of cards that you reveal with each raid.
So here's the question, though. Are those... So you've raided twice.
Raided twice, yes.
Yeah.
But if you pull 4 cards, you've still only raided twice,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure that the folks in the back hear that we're not saying that you raided 4 times.
No.
Correct.
You
No,
raided
because
twice.
each time you raid, you're supposed to draw a card. This allows you to draw an additional card on your raid. So you're going to actually cycle your deck quicker. But the key to this is that because you're raiding once, but getting 2 cards to select from, you're probably going to get more of those Realmstones that you need to trigger other things, whether that's trigger the ploy, trigger the upgrade, to trigger your other objectives. And you're cycling your cards more, right? So like I'm kind of tutoring my deck in the way of what I want on top, what I want on the bottom. And that's I might have used the word mill before, so I'm sorry. This is tutor. We're tutoring the deck. Still, these TCG terms.
Tutor is to search for a specific card, right?
Yes, that's what you're doing here.
Yeah.
You're cycling your card. Milling would be to mill out to get rid of the deck.
Okay, I got you.
But yeah, you're tutoring to find specific
really-
cards.
The deck is really a cycle deck. Like you're trying
Yeah.
to cycle through
It.
Yeah.
You're trying to cycle through your deck. You're
So-
not even, it's not your hand. You're trying to get through your deck and see what all your cards are and then manipulate it to try and get in the order you.
Yeah. So the thing that is important to note is that the objectives, because we're not going to go through all of them, often measure one of two things: either the number of times that you raid or the number of cards that you raid.
Right.
So if this domain is in play, then it doubles the number of cards that you raid, but it does not change the number of times that you.
That's
So
right.
that's going to be the important distinction as you're playing through this.
Yeah,
So,
that's why I asked that question.
yeah, it is and that is an excellent question to ask, an important distinction. So I think we're all rapturous out, so we can move on.
Yeah. I'll talk about the next one, which is Ambush. Play this immediately after picking a ranged weapon as part of an attack. You can raid after a successful friendly ranged attack instead of a melee attack this turn.
That's so nice.
It's very good.
Like that first attack, you're not putting yourself in danger. Like to get this deck to work, you have to attack, and you need successful attacks.
Yep.
So the longer you can delay putting your fighters in the danger zone, the better. So being able to raid with a melee or with a ranged attack, just hit Crowjacks with a crossbow and raid 3 cards. Seems pretty good.
I like it.
Get to it. Attacking from afar.
Nice.
And the third one is Manipulated Fate. Play this immediately after a friendly fighter is picked as the target of an attack. Save rolls made for that attack count as having more crit successes than the attack roll for the purposes of the steadfast ability.
That's so good.
So, wait, 0's a number, right?
0's a number. Great. Yeah, it doesn't
Like,
matter. What matters is this is in hand reactive -1 damage. Do not drive me back.
Yes. Yeah.
That's so good.
So you play it right after picked it as a target, so it may not even be a successful roll. So,
Yeah.
sorry, you've wasted it if it wasn't a successful attack roll, right? But yeah, no matter what, it is -1 damage. I do not get driven back.
Yeah.
Like they could roll 2-3 crits, and it's
Yeah.
like, nope, you have more crits than the attack roll. Period.
That's right.
That's really cool, and it's like not telegraphed.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's not an Emberstone ploy. So like
Yeah.
the 3 that we picked, none of them are Emberstone ploys. So now you have reduced, like by hoping for these cards, possibly even redrawing for these cards, you've like increased the percentage of cards in your deck that are Emberstone ploys that are going to help you score the objectives that you need to score later. So pretty good.
Pretty good. Yeah, let's just move right into the upgrades. So now these could also be Emberstone, but the 3 that we have, continuing the trend, start with what, Jerod?
They're not. So we're going to start with Great Speed.
Woo!
+1 move.
+1
we like
move.
it early because
It's free.
Moving around the board is nice, and it's 0 glory. So
Trace, what other one would we like?
Another oldie but a goodie. Great Fortitude. It is 2 glory for 1 health.
that's right.
Health
You want
is
it
always
early.
useful. You want it early.
Yeah, you got to stay alive if you're going to make successful attack actions to raid cards.
Yep. And the last one is Kenai. So another 2 bounty upgrade. The fighter's weapon melees. This fighter's melee weapons have +1 attack dice.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's just crazy. So we have great fortitude, Kenai, great strength in here. And then as we get into the specific Realmstone cards, like there are a bunch of 2 bounty upgrades in this deck. Jerod, how much did we count again?
I don't remember.
I think there was 8 total bounty
1,
worth, so 4 of
2,
them.
3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 2 bounty cards
12,
in here.
yeah.
4 of the Emberstone upgrades are 2 bounty each. And then I think we do have to talk about the honorable mention.
We do.
So this is the first Emberstone upgrade that we're going to talk about, and that is Forgotten Fortune. It's a surge ability, lingering power. Immediately after a successful attack made by this fighter, you can pick 1 Emberstone ploy from your power discard, add it to your hand, then discard this card. And it's for 1 bounty. So I don't. What is that? Resurrection? You're pulling cards out of the graveyard? I don't know. I don't play TCGs, so. But like being able to return a ploy, like I don't know, Manipulated Fate. Oh wait, no, that one's not an Emberstone ploy. So just kidding, can't do that one. But there are others in here. There's one in here, pick an enemy fighter, give that fighter a stagger token. So you could do that again. Yeah, there's good ones in here.
So here's a question for you, and we haven't talked about this pre-show. So let's figure that out. Keep that card up there, right? So while I'm doing the ploy card, it says immediately after first successful melee attack, right? You raid, and
Yep.
then right as you're raiding, Emberstone cards have the following additional rule. Emberstone upgrades. You can equip this card immediately after it is raided if you have the required glory points. So let's say that you equip that card with the Realmstone Raid, then that has an instant action after a melee attack. Does it all stream together, or does it have to be an additional attack?
I would say that you did not have the upgrade when you made the attack, but I think we're in a gray area here. So my inclination would be that you would need the card on the fighter before you make the attack action, because technically it's going to get applied after the attack action, because that's when you raid.
Because that's when you raid.
Yeah,
I agree, but I'm just like,
yeah.
there are
It's worth talking about. Yeah.
three surge steps here in a row.
Yep.
Like,
yeah, I think you need it in hand.
Yep.
Yeah, so just to finish that statement before I got logged out because of wonderful weather here in North Carolina, I don't think they string together because of the after statement. But now to kind of finish up with Realmstone Raiders, the overall deck, typically we would go in and give you additional. So like, what cards do you want to take for Nemesis? Your 5 additional ploys and upgrades, or the additional objective cards to kind of fill out half the deck. We're not going to do that with this one, and the reason for that is because
it's going to be really, really tough to make that happen. So a lot of the objectives are tied to the Emberstone ploys and the Emberstone upgrades. So actually rating those specific cards. So you have at most, I would say, 8 gambits and upgrades, 4 ploys and 4 upgrades that you have some choice with. But if you're going to get this to function at all with any of the objectives, you're going to have to keep all 6 of the Emberstone.
All 6 of both. Yep.
Yeah, ploys and all 6 of the Emberstone upgrades. I mean, that said, there are objectives in here that don't require you to raid Emberstone specific cards. So,
right.
I mean, you could use these. I think you could pair them with an aggressive deck. There's certain aggression that we called out. You raided 2 or more times this battle round, and there are no enemy fighters in friendly territory. Realmstone Raid we called out. You raided 3 or more times with different friendly fighters. Yep, and then that's an Emberstone card. That's an Emberstone card. If you rated, nope, that's Emberstone card. So that's 1, 2, 3. The ploy that we called out is 4. Score this in an end phase if friendly fighters are holding a treasure that has a value equal to that fighter's bounty characteristic. So that you could use. Nope, that requires Emberstone cards. That requires Emberstone cards. That requires Emberstone cards.
Essentially, what we're saying is that you're going to have to really heavily invest into this deck. If you like, it's going to be this deck with a splash of whatever else that you want.
Right.
Really.
Yeah.
So I think we all agree that this functions better as a Rivals deck than it does necessarily as a Nemesis deck. Is that safe to say, Jerod?
I think so. I think there are some mathematicians and wizards and
I'm
scientists
sure
out there that are gonna make something happen. I think because the gambits are really good.
The gambits are really good. I agree.
Or the ploys.
Same. It's fine.
Yep.
People know what we mean.
They do.
I do agree that it's going to be tough to get it to fire the way that you want, but I'm sure that there will be better minds than us that figure something out and make it next level.
I agree.
So if you are one of those people, you're awesome.
Knock it out. Let us know. We want your deck for the library.
We'll put your deck on the library.
have you write a deck guide. So I think that'll close this out. This is definitely a mastery style. I don't think the boards, whatever it's going to be, help you be aggressive. So you probably want to go 5s for both orientations rather than 9s because it helps you be closer to the front. Trace, what are you thinking for a new player rating? Are we the Rivals deck by itself?
For the Rivals deck by itself, I think that it's probably a silver. Because there's timing mechanics that you're going to have to kind of learn, but I don't necessarily feel that it is a hard deck to play.
Yeah.
I think it is just it does what it wants to do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just pair it with something that you know you're going to want to attack with.
Yeah.
Don't try and like play a positioning warband with this or a mastery warband with this. Like play something that's meant to be aggressive.
Yeah.
And I
Something
think
that's going to be accurate.
Yeah.
Tanky and aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could see it working for elites.
Yeah.
Yeah. You probably don't want to run like Thundrix.
No, probably not. I think Morgok would be a fun deck to play.
Yeah.
Fun warband to play this with.
So anyway, that's Realmstone Raiders.
Yeah.
We're going to take a break. And when we come back, we will talk about the Knives of the Crone. And we're back, and we are here to talk about the Knives of the Crone. So they've been teased. There was an article released by Warcom this week talking through the warband. I'm just going to read the flavor text, and then we can dig in. So, fanatical believers in the creed of the prophetic goddess Morai Heg, the Knives of the Crone exist to serve fate's will. They are led by the seer Kierna Vix, who reads the viscera of slain foes to glean her deity's desires. A cadre of killers ensures Vix's visions come to pass. Tazari is Kierna's strong right hand, while Krita eagerly butchers those who draw her master's gaze. Finally, the arbalist Asvel stands ready to put a crossbow bolt through distant foes. So, 4-fighter, Elfin Warband, Daughters of Cain, but aligned with, I can't remember her name now, Cthulhu,
I think is what it is.
Cthulhu? I don't know. The really awesome Daughters of Cain model that got released last year.
The Crone Seer.
There she is, yeah. She's like got her blindfolds on. She's got these big bird wings. It is very apparent visually that they are attached to her. Krita's got her cloak that turns into bird wings. So I think before we talk about rules and miniature or rules and War Scroll and all that, Trace, you want to give us a quick rundown on your thoughts of the miniatures themselves?
Yeah, the models overall are very good. They made some interesting sculpting choices though that people who purchase these will kind of find. In particular, the thing that I want to kind of call out for people to look at is Krita's, the way that she has her cloak attached to her. It just seems it seems kind of lazy, honestly. Because you can very clearly, when we build these models, anybody who's listening to this has put together many Underworlds models, I'm assuming. So when you're putting these push fit models together, you have like your socket piece, and then you have the pin that goes in for the push fit, right?
Yeah.
Well, on her in particular, they didn't do anything to hide that underneath the cloak. Like there's
so rare.
Right.
Is that wait?
It's like a circle. Like you can see the cylinder underneath her cloak where it attaches to her back. But like there's other models that they've done similar things with where they've actually like molded it in to where it fits flush with the back of the model. It's just very odd.
I mean, I would say, all things considered, that's a pretty good percentage though.
It is. I agree.
If you look at how many warbands do we have? 70 some odd now at this point?
Yep. It's not a complaint about the model as a whole. It just feels like that was potentially forgotten, maybe, or not really like looked at close enough. The other thing I will say is that when you're making these models, be very careful because for whatever reason, they put the gates on the chins of the ladies. So be very careful with that when you're cutting them out because you can make some of these ladies not so pretty.
So they're attached to the sprue by the chin.
Some of them, yeah, like
by the hair of their chin.
Well, not anymore. Not
if you're not careful, they will look like they got hairs on their chins. So yeah, but as far as like the overall sculpts go, they're really, really nice. One of the things that I was particularly impressed with these is the eyes. The eyes on them are actually very well defined, which makes it easier to paint eyes if you do those endeavors. Cool. I know not a lot of folks try and paint the eyes, but but the detail on them is very crisp. But yeah, overall very nice. Just some weird little design choices that I was very surprised by building them.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I am excited to see what you do with them. I appreciate you painting them. And taking some input from me.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, so you went kind of old school dark elf.
Yeah, they're going to be
Warhammer
more.
Fantasy.
They're definitely more. Since I've been, exploring the old world a lot, like the older witch elf style, I thought would look really cool on them. So, that's why I made some of the color choices that I made.
Nice.
They're very moody in these pictures. They're not as moody the way that I've painted them, but I think that they look nice. So
cool. Right. Well, with all of the awesome art stuff out of the way, which is significantly more visually appealing, but harder to convey over radio.
Correct. 100%.
Let's dig into the warband.
Yep.
So 4-fighter elfin warband. They're all 4 move. 3 of the fighters have 4 health. 1 has 3. All but the leader on 1 dodge. The leader's on 2 dodge. And then they've got some interesting attack profiles. So the leader, Karna, range 1, 2 smash, 2 damage. Krita is range 1, 4. It's not smash, it's hammers. 2 hammers. 2 Krita is range 1, 4 swords, 1 damage. Chazari has got the spear. Range 1, 2 hammers, 2 damage, or range 2, 3 swords, 1 damage. And then Asfel's got his melee attack is range 1, 2 swords, 1 damage, or range 3, 3 swords, 1 damage. All of the 4 health fighters are 2 bounty. Asfel with 3 health is 1 bounty. And then on the inspired side, they are all 2 dodge. Both of the knives with cloak gain fly, and all of their attacks get more accurate or more damage. So you can check those out. But how do they inspire? Jason, how do they inspire? He's not ready.
If foretold wisdom is foretold after a friendly fighter's successful attack as a result of the visions in the blood ability, inspire that fighter.
Okay, what's the visions in the blood ability?
Use this immediately after a friendly fighter's successful attack. Make a prophecy roll. See Rituals of Prophecy.
Oh my gosh, what's a prophecy roll?
Okay, at the start of the first action step in each battle round, you make a prophecy roll by rolling 4 attack dice.
4 dice?
4 dice.
So this is going to make up for all of the times that I've done a roll-off with 1 dice.
Yes.
Thanks to the rule change in Emberguard.
So, if the roll contains one of the results on the prophecy table, that prophecy is foretold. If that roll of 4 dice contains 2 different results on the prophecy table, both of the prophecies are foretold. Okay. If that roll contains 3 of the same symbol, you can pick whatever prophecy from the table. The prophecy is foretold. Nice. If the roll contains 4 of a kind, 4 of the same symbol, you can pick 2 different prophecies from the prophecy table. Both of those prophecies are foretold. And finally, if the roll contains any crits, you can replace each crit with any other symbol of your choice. Swords, hammers, flanks, and surroundeds. When a prophecy is foretold, immediately use its ability.
Nice. Okay.
But what abilities are those?
Yeah, so let's go through the prophecy table.
Now you have the whole table.
The whole table. I love a table.
So the results.
Like 2 swords.
2 swords. Foretold slaughter. The slaughter and the slaughtest.
Makes sense.
The next time you pick a melee weapon as part of an attack this battle round, that weapon has critical grievous for that attack.
Oh, nice. So
2 swords.
Potentially on-demand crit grievous.
Crit grievous.
Okay. I can see that coming in handy, and we'll talk about why that is.
Okay.
As we get into some more details. All right. 2 hammers.
Foretold wisdom. You become
this is
very
the one that
wise.
Inspires us.
This is what you want to inspire.
Okay.
Look at the top card of your objective deck. Put that card on the top or bottom of the deck.
So you get to inspire a fighter and manipulate your objective deck.
Yes.
Nice.
It's pretty fun.
I like it.
Pretty fun. Because it's foretold wisdom.
What if I roll 2 flanked or 2 surrounded or one flanked and one surrounded.
Foretold protection.
Okay.
The next time you make a save roll this battle round, you can immediately re-roll one save dice in the save roll.
Okay. I mean,
I see nothing bad on that.
yeah, I don't dislike any of those.
Prophecy table.
Yeah.
Slaughter,
There it is.
wisdom, protection.
Nice. And that's actually the whole War Scroll card.
That's it.
That's it. That's all that's on there. I say that's all that's
That's
on there.
all?
We just spent 7 minutes reading through all that. So,
All right, read Visions
first
in the Blood
glance-
again.
what? Visions in the Blood?
So that is the surge ability.
Right.
Use this immediately after a friendly fighter's successful attack.
Yep.
Make a prophecy roll. See Rituals of Prophecy.
Yeah.
Right.
So-
So you get to make one at the beginning of your action step.
Yes.
No, beginning of the first action step.
First action
In
step.
each battle round.
Right.
Yeah.
But then every successful attack,
Melee
you get to
attack.
roll it again.
No, just successful attack. Just
Yeah,
successful
not a
attack.
melee. Just successful
regular.
attacks.
Boom, bam, go.
Boom.
Roll
Yep.
4 more again.
Boom, bum. I love
Seems
it.
like you're going to be rolling on this a lot. So
I like it's perfect. I love rolling dice.
Yep.
Jason and I are going to be fighting over this warband.
It's a pretty fun warband.
I like that crits are wild. That's cool.
Yeah, and it's the first one. Like, there's no single use kind of ability here, so it is relying a lot on your Gambit deck. But you are going to be rolling a lot of dice, which makes it fun.
Yep.
And like some of the time, you're going to get 2 of these to go off, so you could have Crit Grievous and reroll on saves for the next time you make a save.
or
Yeah.
crit Grievous and manipulate your deck even more.
Yeah.
If you're playing
Yeah.
with the same deck we were just talking about.
Yeah, that's true. Could be good. So I teased this before. Foretold Slaughter. If you foretell this prophecy, you gain Crit Grievous. And I think that's important because there is no native 3 damage fighter in this warband.
You have one that only gets to 1. Your leader gets to 2, but on 4 dice.
The leader is 3 hammers. The
No.
Krita, the assassin,
Oh.
is on 4 dice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Krita.
Oh, sorry, I was looking at the
Yeah.
cool looking winged one.
Yeah.
And just assumed that she was the leader. I didn't look at the symbols.
Yeah. Fair. Yeah. The rune marks. You should.
Yes,
They're
She
there for a
doesn't
reason.
have the leadership stairwell.
she does not.
Yeah. The tactical stair step.
Yeah.
Tactical
That's
steps.
how you know she's the leader of the war.
That's true. The rest of them are on tactical rocks or tactical rubble, and she's on a tactical.
I mean,
step.
getting him inspired on 2 dodge with maybe a
A reroll on
foretold
the inside.
protection.
Yeah.
It's pretty spicy.
It's pretty spicy. So, yeah. Anything? Any deck pairings come to mind for anybody? Because I got one.
I mean, I want to go aggro.
Yes, for sure.
Aggro.
Yeah. So, I'm thinking probably a Blazing Assault and Pillage and Plunder.
Okay, why the
Oh.
I get the blazing assault.
Yeah. I hear you. So, why the Pillage and Plunder? That's a great question. And I'm happy to answer it. So, number 1, it has Glory Seeker in it. So, that's another source of +1 damage in case you can't get a sword and a crit or 2 swords, right, in your prophecy roll. So, you're like always missing the Crit Grievous. The other piece is cover. So 2 dodge in cover with a reroll seems pretty good. The biggest downside is that they don't have any native push abilities. So you're going to be locked to whatever push cards are available from your power deck. And so it's my slight hesitation on Pillage is because you don't have any warband abilities that help you get onto and stay on feature token. So I think if you're going to avoid that, then I think it's probably Blazing and Rack.
Yeah, like I like the pairing. I'm just really excited about the stat blocks. Like you are sad the RL, so you are sacrificing some stuff, but you have 3 4 wound fighters, which is pretty good. And then you have 4 move. I like that 4 move. And then the one that doesn't have 4 wounds is only worth a single bounty. So
right.
I do like the versatility of them. I love the pairing with Blazing just to get the additional damage, get the additional attack incentives.
And you've got accuracy cards in there. So you got the Keen Eye and then the reroll and attack die. So helping you get the successful attack so that you can use Visions in Blood so that you can foretell more prophecies.
Yeah, I just think I think if you're gonna play a hold deck, if you're gonna pair one in, and I'm not saying that it's wrong, but if you're gonna pair in a hold deck, there are other warbands that probably do that better with the pushes and
Yeah.
double shields.
Yep.
I really want to leverage their
Their
attacking ability, like their three swords, two hammers, three hammers.
Yeah.
And besides, like, who doesn't like to roll a ton of dice? And the fact that you're rolling it off
Yeah.
your card as well is it's cool. I definitely think the warband is fun. So
Yeah. I like it. I'm excited to get them on the table and see what I can do with them. So, what do we figure for warband rating
man, that
or
card
new
is
player rating?
There's a lot. There's a lot
there's a
going
lot on
on
that
with
card.
the card.
Yeah.
I'd probably say silver.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot on the card, but like once you kind of play it once, they're gonna know there's not a lot. There's a lot going on, but there's not a lot of impact, right? There's three basic choices that you're trying to get:
Yeah.
slaughter, wisdom, protection. And
They get
because it is a roll, it's random, so you kind of take what you get.
Yeah.
And most of the time, you're going to go after wisdom, so you can inspire your fighter, right? Um, Once they're inspired, the other two are great. I do think, just given the state of the game, that aggro is not as straightforward as it used to be, like when we first started second edition.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree that it's a silver, but I think it's a fun silver because you're doing stuff. Like, even if you're not winning,
yeah.
you're doing stuff.
No.
Yeah, it's not a. It's. I didn't say silver because I think that they're not like. They are definitely gold for fun. like rolling dice, just doing things, gold. But as
Yeah,
far as like, they don't. If you can't get them inspired, they're on one dodge,
Yeah.
and they're 4 wounds, but that can go away pretty quick with one dodge. So
Yeah. That's true.
it's about the proper application of force for them, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. They're not as forgiving as, like, say, the Jaws
Correct. Yep.
or Drom.
Yep.
In the aggro department.
Yep. They're not looking at 5 wound health pools with 2 shields.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I like them, though.
They're
cool.
Yeah. Any other closing thoughts?
No, I'm more excited about them after the preview than I was just seeing the models when they kind of like the teaser. I am very interested in playing that prophecy table. I really am excited about them because I think they are a little simpler to play because you don't have multiple different choices to make. It kind of goes through it. I also find that it's very interesting that in both the same release window, we have a warband that manipulates the objective deck and a rivals deck that manipulates the power deck. So I like the design space there. And again, apologizing to the listeners as I kind of lost out of the last segment there as you wrapped up. It just is a little disappointing from the rivals deck standpoint that it may not play out how it was intended. Just given the limited amount of Realmstone cards that are in there. And most importantly, I can't wait to see what the community does with both, because how often have we been wrong?
A lot.
Very often.
At least once. Yep. Cool. Well, I think that closes us out for Knives of the Corn.
Yes.
So we'll take a break and we'll come back with the outro. And we're back, and that wraps up the 79th episode of the Battle Mallet podcast. Again, a huge thanks to Games Workshop for sending us advanced copies of Knives of the Crone and the Realmstone Raiders for us to review so that we can put this content together for you. Of course, please go check out all of the other channels: Path to Glory, What the Hex, Spent Glory, Agents of Sigmar, and now I've named too many, so now I'm going to hurt somebody's feelings because I didn't name them all.
Forgot Jake.
Oh, yeah, Goonhammer. Thanks for making me feel even worse, Jason.
There you go. It's fine.
But yeah, so, hit Facebook, find the Emberguard Underworlds group on that, or look on X or Blue Sky. Thank you for taking the time to listen to us ramble and rant and Jason lose power. We wouldn't be making this if it weren't for listeners. So we appreciate all of you. If you want to find us on socials, we are Battle Mallet HQ on Instagram, X, and Blue Sky. We're Battle Mallet Podcast on Facebook. Website is battle-mallet.com. We have a Discord. There are links in basically everywhere that we publish to that Discord that you can come hang out with us. Keep an ear out for future episodes. We're going to talk about what we're doing with Nova, as Jason teased. We'll probably do a deep dive into our own packet. So it'll be a little primer for anybody that's playing. We're mixing things up based on, we're going to be a little bit variable based on the number of attendees, but we'll get into all that later. A couple of shout outs. I want to shout out the Canadian Tabletop Championship Tournament. G, as he is affectionately known in all of the Discords, Guillaume, is running a tournament there in Canada. It is Saturday. It's May 23rd through 25th. There we go. Yeah. So coming up in a couple of weeks, there are 3 golden tickets up for grabs at that event. So if you are hankering for that golden ticket and close to the area, go invade Canada and get their tickets. And then Jason and I are heading to Madison, Wisconsin in June to attend the Q2.
Yeah, they're Q2. It's Q2.
Q2 Madtown Throwdown. So we're excited about that. It's going to be a fun time. Jason probably won't even end up playing Warhammer Underworlds.
It's Skylar's fault. I want to play this card game. Skylar, let's do it up.
It is Skylar's fault. So that'll be a good time. Jason and I will just go help boost people to whoever is going to win that golden ticket. But it'll be cool to hang out with them on their home turf. I think, yeah, that's all I've got. Community shout out wide. Anybody else got anything else going on?
No, but speaking of the calendar, did you hear about the 2 guys that stole a calendar?
No.
Yeah, they each got 6 months.
Oh, nice. Good for them.
Yeah.
So good. Oh, okay. Wow. I don't even know what to do with that. So I guess we're done. That wraps up the 79th episode.
That's
I already said
correct.
that.
Just
say it again.
Just leave it.
So for the Battle Mallet Podcast, we are 3 foretold prophecies. This is Jerod Foretold Slaughter signing out.
I'm not doing that. This is straight signing out.
And I'm Jason Canicorn Murray. Get the hell out of here.
Peace.
Go Bills.
The Battle Mallet Podcast is protected under the Creative Commons license. If you have further questions as to its use, you can find more information via links on podcast.battle-mallet.com. Music by Anno Domini Beats.
Just turn it into a ASMR podcast. Yeah, I was gonna do. Let's see what this one does.
Needs more cowbell.
Oh, that's a good one.